I've been practicing my embroidery and trying out new stitches, trying to hone the stitches that I have learned, and practice more like freehand rather than just almost like coloring in the lines equivalent of embroidery. I'm trying to like be more creative with it, and so I have this one I've been working on, this little like branch pattern around. I'm gonna do some kind of design in the middle. I've kind of drawn one out, but I can't really decide what I want to do. Might do like a monogram or something. And this was like one singular stitch, so I did the stem stitch around the loop and then did the daisy chain back around to form the leaves. And I got to the very end and tied it off and snipped it with the scissors, and I like snipped the knot and like apart right there. Like that's supposed to be tied together and it's not. Like that's literally a loose thread. If that came through, this whole thing would just unravel, and I don't know how to fix it. It's too tiny to tie back off. I could try and unravel part of it and then like re-stitch it through and tie it back, which is what I'll probably have to do. Or I could try and like iron something on the, I don't even know. So kind of a bummer. Hey everybody, it's Caroline. I am hosting your Friday vlog today. We made it to Friday. It's been kind of a rainy week here. My plants have loved it, but I haven't been able to do as much stuff outside as I like. We had some fun things going on this week. I wanted to just share them with you, make sure you know where to look for them, and let you know kind of what's coming down the pipeline. I'm currently sitting at a table that I purchased from an antique store when I was in college, and half refinished it, like painted the bottom part. It's like a farmhouse table. Painted the stand and the legs, and left the top the original stain with all the wear and tear, and just like resealed it. But since April and Zach and Kara went foraging for some black walnuts unintentionally, April had the idea of trying to pull the stain from the walnut husks and actually boil it down and make some wood stain that is food safe because it came straight from a plant. And she's got a big bucket of this like tarry black walnut stain juice in her backyard that we're hoping is gonna turn out and actually work really well. And she wants to use it for a couple projects she's working on, but she will have more than enough. So April, I need to borrow your walnut stain. And I'm gonna refinish this, and the reason I want to do that is because the leaf of the table, I didn't ever put the leaf in the table when I first got it, and it wasn't for like, I didn't for like a year or two, and I put the leaf in the table one time and I realized that the stains were completely different colors. Like it was slightly more orange. So I'm gonna sand it down and restain the whole thing, and it'll be nice to have it freshly done for when it moves into its new home next spring. And there will probably be many more projects like that. I love to repurpose things, and I love to find things on the side of the road. Like I grew up with parents and grandparents who would drive around and literally get trash from the side of the road and reuse it somehow. Like we have a wheelbarrow that we got from a neighbor that just like tossed out perfectly good, like really nice wheelbarrow. The tire wasn't even like deflated. And so I've got a lot of furniture pieces that came from other people's trash, and it's not even that I bought it from an estate sale. I literally just took it out of the garbage. So maybe one day I'll do a little walkthrough of some of my projects that I've repurposed and things that I found on the side of the road and gave new life to. But yes, the walnut stain we are hoping turns out, and if you haven't seen that video, I highly encourage you to check it out. Essentially, it was the foraging for pawpaws that turned into unintentionally foraging for black walnuts. But April kind of talked about it in her vlog last week, and we laugh at the things that we are learning. There are so many. So yeah, that happened last week. And then on Tuesday, Zach shared a video with us about propagating dewberries, and he used a technique for propagation I had never heard of before, the layering technique. You'll have to check the video out. I think April could probably put a link right here to go see it. But you just have to check it out. But we're excited to see if it actually works, and if it does, then another new propagation method in the toolbox. I've got some cuttings that have propagated and I'm trying to propagate in preparation to move homes next year. I really want to take plants with me that have stories and came from special places like my parents' house or my grandparents' house.
It's been pretty rainy today, off and on cloudy, but I wanted to come out here and show you guys some cuttings that I have. So I've got a Hydrangea cutting that came from that bush right there, and he is doing really good. I rooted him in water with root hormone first, and then I planted him once his roots got like a centimeter or so long. He's been hanging on. There's still some like new leaves growing underneath that little bud. There were only these 2 leaves and then these 2 leaves to start with. I don't know why it tells you to cut the leaf in half, but I just do what the instructions say. And then this little rosemary guy came from my big rosemary plant that was originally over here, but he got some mildew, so I had to move him to the raised bed, get him some new soil, and he's not doing very good. But this little cutting is sprouting off plenty of new growth, so he's gonna survive, I believe. So yeah, just out here in the garden doing our afternoon walk, checking out the plants. This little guy is a hydrangea cutting from that same bush that I rooted in water, or am trying to propagate by rooting in water. He is doing pretty good. The cutting that's outside on the porch took about like 3 or 4 weeks to get roots that were long enough. So I just make sure that he's watered all the way above his like top nodule right there. And yeah, put some root hormone on him before I even put him in the water, and he's doing good. So we'll hopefully have another plant to take with us to our new garden.
And propagation is a cool way to do that. Another cool way to do that is saving seeds. And I am gonna put together and put out a video, hopefully in the next couple weeks, of how I save seeds. The process I've kind of developed, and the love I have for saving seeds and just letting plants grow to seed, and taking them and keeping them and replanting them and then watching new plants grow. I've done it with flowers, and sometimes I'll be like cooking and I'll use a vegetable that I really like, and I'll try and save the seeds from that vegetable and turn it into a plant. Well, I don't turn it into a plant, but I take care of the seed and pray that it germinates. And when it does, it's really exciting. Tomatoes really do well. Last year I had all of these tomato plants that I got from the seeds of like one tomato, and it was so late in the season. I ended up, they didn't even produce any fruit. They just kind of died off, but it was really cool to watch them. Like, they grew so tall. So check that out. Saving Seeds 101 coming your way. And then we had our Guess the Method that we first shared. That was so fun. I am so excited for more of them to be publicly available for viewing, because y'all, the fact that some of these recipes exist and people actually make them and actually like want to make them, like took the time to put a recipe in a cookbook, fascinates me. And you know, obviously I'm learning more about the context of the cookbook and the history behind the cooks that put the cookbook together, which kind of gives some context to the interesting recipes that we are making. But yeah, check out our potato apples. And then I think we've got another one coming your way shortly. Maybe next month we'll put it out. It was a lot of fun to make. And I'm really excited for the third one we're going to make. It's one that I got to pick the recipe out for, and I have very low expectations. But it's so fun to get to do this with friends, and I just love like the way that we're all learning so many different things, and we have so many different like small hobbies and interests within the broader like homesteading picture, like living sustainably, being self-sufficient in an urban setting. Like we all have so many different little passions and interests, and it's just so cool that we're getting to share that with you guys, and we hope that you like learn something, but if anything, just find some enjoyment in our lives and community and friendship and failures. And we do get to celebrate failures a lot. Probably a lot more than we do the successes, but it makes the successes really sweet when you have not been able to do it right, or it's come out wrong, or you found a better way after the fact. Then when you're able to put those into practice, those new methods and new ways of doing things that you learn along the way, and then actually see the fruit that literally and figuratively that is born from, you know, learning from your mistakes. It's really cool, and lots of really cool partnerships that we're hoping to develop and create some relationships with other people that are passionate about the same things as us. So if you love living in the city and want to also homestead and are passionate about those things, like we want to meet you. We want to get to know you and do this alongside you. Come join our community. So yeah, like and subscribe, and you'll get all the updates, and you'll be the first to know about these videos, I guess, whenever they are shared in the ways and platforms that you watch your videos. So I don't really think I have anything else. If I did forget, April, I promise I'm sorry. She's told me like 100 times how to do a vlog, and I still don't really know. I feel so weird talking to a camera, but I'm here because I love my friends and I love being a part of Homesteadin In The City. So yeah, go make things.